And welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we've got a new video for you here on the new territory battle, and we're going to be focusing specifically on the dark side teams that you're going to want to use on that dark side path. So we have a top 10 teams that you're going to use, plus we have a bonus team at the very end that a lot of people may not expect could be very effective moving forward. So stay tuned, everybody. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, folks, so we've got our top 10 order here. Just to be clear, folks, this is going to be slightly speculative. It is going to be based off of current information that we have, but we don't have all of the details on the TV yet, so we have to do a little bit of speculation with this video. So with that being said, let's get into our first team. Our first team here is going to be the First Order team under the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren leadership. The team that you have here on the screen is probably the ideal team, but it certainly is possible that you could kind of tweak this a little bit and have a two-team setup with First Order. You know, one team being run under Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and then another team of kind of the leftover First Order. Now, I don't think that's going to be very effective unless we have a specific battle on the dark side path that focuses on First Order. For instance, if we go to Jakku for one of our battles, and that's a really heavy First Order focused battle, that might be a case where we do want to have two separate teams. Apologies for my dog in the background. But I think generally speaking, we're really only going to want to have one First Order team, and that's going to be the team under the leadership of Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. I do expect that this team is going to do very well in the new TB, even though it is an older team. It is not something that has gotten any kind of limelight in a TB yet at this point, so I do think that they are going to be very effective moving forward. Oh, Fritz. Our second team that we have here is the Empire team led by Lord Vader. This, without a doubt in my mind, is going to be the #1 most important team in the dark side path for the new TB. The reason for that is that there is a special in there for the Empire where they do damage based on their health. And if any of you know his kit, Lord Vader converts all of their health and protection into health, and they are extremely thick with health. So even a character like Royal Guard is going to be dishing out some massive damage in this TB because of that modifier. Now, in terms of the team composition, so obviously Lord Vader lead, followed by Royal Guard is pretty much a staple with him. Darth Vader and Thrawn, they're sort of flexible to go with other teams, but they're really going to be best here. You'll see why as we get further into the video, and especially when we get into the mixed teams next week. The fifth slot here is a little bit more flexible with Shore Trooper. For instance, let's say that you want to try to run an Iden Versio-led Trooper team. So you could sub out Shore Trooper, put him into that team, and then maybe throw Thrawn in here instead. Or, I'm sorry, not Thrawn. Moff Tarkin. I don't know what my brain was thinking there. You could throw Tarkin in there and have that work pretty well, as pretty effectively as well. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to our third team. This is kind of the opposite of Lord Vader. So if Lord Vader is the cream of the crop of the GLs, Sith Eternal Empire or Emperor is going to be the worst, in my opinion. So C, as everyone knows at this point, if you have C, he is purely a PvP character. He's really not very good in PvE, and I think we're going to continue to see that in the new TB. I do have, in this case, C with Sidious, who I think is a pretty solid pairing with C. And then Dooku and Maul, mostly because Dooku, I don't think the Separatists are going to be very effective in this TB. They've kind of already had their moment in the sun, so to speak, with the Geonosis TB. And then I have Savage Opress here at the end as well. Basically, they're just bodies to fill out the team. I do not expect that this team is going to be very effective, folks. If you have it, great. Figure out a way to make it work. I personally think your best bet, because this is what I do in GeoTB, is to have a Traya-led Sith team, have the Triumvirate, and then C with that team. That's what I've found to be the most effective. But, again, I wanted to talk about a GL composition just in case you guys were hoping to use a GL composition. I do not advise using this in the future. I don't think it's going to be very effective. All right, moving on to our teams that are currently very, very strong in TB, but I think we're going to see them really fall off in this new TB. So first of all, we have the Sith Empire. This case, we've got the Darth Revan lead. Malgus obviously is the premier lead in terms of GAC in PvP content, but in PvE, I still think Darth Revan is the better leadership. But I would expect this team is really going to fall off the map, folks. They're big time meta still in a lot of realms. They're still very effective in GOTB. I think they're going to be very, very, very neutered in this new TB. So don't be shocked if this is a team that is not very effective moving forward. Same is true with Separatists. We've got a Grievous-led team with Wat Tambor. I threw Wat in there. I do think Wat could be very usable in other paths. I'll explain that later. GOTB. The Geonosian team obviously is going to be another team that used to be effective, not as much anymore. These guys obviously for me are fairly not heavily modded. That's because, or geared I should say, that's because they're effective where they are. I really don't need them any higher than that. But these are two teams that we saw them really do very well in GOTB, and I think they're going to absolutely fall off the map in this new TB. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some teams that I think can be effective moving forward and potentially might be extremely effective moving forward. Traya. Traya is just kind of a good, solid, all-around team that really always works. Just the way her kit works, the way that, having an Annihilate with Darth Nihilus, all of those things that these guys have, make them an effective team really kind of no matter where you put them at. Darth Talon, I think, is going to fit best in with this team in PvE content. She really was designed for the Triumvirate in particular. So I think that she's going to shine in this particular instance under a Traya leadership team. Do I think they're going to be getting you max waves each time? No. But I do think that they might be able to go in and get a 1 out of 2 for you. Maybe 2 out of 2 in the early stages. We'll see. All right. The Trooper team. So Troopers obviously are very effective in GOTB, but I think they're going to remain very effective in the new TB. I don't think they're going to be effective across the board. I think they're going to have some specific missions that are catered to them where they'll be very effective. But I think we're going to see a lot of instances where the other team has way more turn meter, and they're going to come out and they're going to just destroy the Trooper team. And as any of you that have the Troopers know, if you don't go first, it can get bad real fast. So this is a team that I think can be effective. I think will be important at times in the new TB Dark Side path, but take them with a grain of salt. Like I said, they've kind of already had their moment in the sun, so don't be shocked if they're not incredibly valuable moving forward. Now, on the opposite end of that spectrum, the Inquisitors. We all know that CG loves this team. They're going to be the meta, folks. They are going to be the absolute most important team in this TB. If you don't have them, you need to start working on them yesterday. You can see that I am in the farming process with them. I'm still a long way off, but I've at least started the process. Plus, obviously, I do not have Reva. None of us have Reva at this point. But she is obviously going to be a key member of this team. I would suspect... So I pulled out 8th... I don't really know. I don't know what we're looking at in terms of what's going to be best and what's not. I think Grand Inquisitor is going to be essential. I think Second Sister is going to be pretty important because she gets a modifier. And obviously Reva is going to be very important. So then the question becomes, do you pull 5th Brother, 9th Sister, or 7th Sister? I have a feeling 7th Sister is going to stay just because she can do some healing, things like that. So more than likely, I think 5th Brother is going to get pulled. But again, that's some area where we're not certain yet until we see some more details. So, but either way, you're definitely going to want Grand Inquisitor and the Inquisitors, folks. Very, very important team moving forward. Oops, I didn't want to show you the bonus content. Team 10. This is a little bit more speculative, but I think you're going to want to see some version of an Empire team here for our kind of last slot. Krennic obviously is considered a hero. He's going to be getting a lot of bonuses. Is it possible that we're going to want a Krennic lead? Maybe? Question mark. I think it's more likely that we're going to see him fit in under, for instance, maybe a Lord Vader lead. but even then, it's very, very, very questionable. We obviously know that Gar Saxon also is going to be considered a hero, so I think he's going to be pretty important. If you're running a Krennic lead, you're going to want Death Trooper with Krennic. They're a pair. You can't separate them really unless you're not using Krennic at all. I would assume as well, same thing here with Gar Saxon and the Super Commando. Again, there's a lot to be learned with this particular setup. Now, I threw Iden in here at the end. Not that I think Iden should go with this team. If anything, Iden might work better with the Trooper team. But I threw Iden in here because you might want to try to do an Iden-led Trooper team, like I mentioned earlier. She's obviously not going to be as effective here as she is in GAC, but it gives you another Empire team to try to use if need be. And as we all know, this TB is centered on the growth of the Empire. So the Empire really is going to be one of the key focus points of this TB. Although I think it is going to be the new Empire more so than old Empire. Now, bonus content team. Now, real quick, you may be saying, well, where's Palpatine at? You will see Palpatine in our third and final video in this series, the mixed teams moving forward. That'll come out next week, folks. So make sure you tune in for that. Now, our last team is our bonus team, and that is the Night Sisters. I think this is a team a lot of people are going to be sleeping on. One, they get a lot of health. They can ramp their health up. Two, they do Plague, which is a health-based damage, and is very important in PvE content. This is a team I think a lot of people are going to underestimate, and they're going to have the ability to really come out and do a lot of damage and be very effective in this TB, even though they're not someone that you might think of. Similar to the Jawas in our light side path. It's a team that no one's going to really think of, but they could actually be very effective because of the way their kit works and doing a lot of health-based damage. Alright, so that'll pretty much wrap us up here for today, folks. If you liked what you saw today, make sure you guys give me a like down below. Also, if you would like to catch more content that I'm putting out, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on notifications. Last but not least, if there's anything I missed, or if you totally agree or disagree with me, make sure you guys leave a comment down below so that I know what your thoughts are. If you'd like to join the live discussion on Discord or catch out the live GAC matches, you can also check out the links for both of those down below in the link descriptions. All right, everybody. Catch you next time.